Well, I did promise the viewers I would reveal a little more about myself personally. So I'm going to start out by telling you guys at least a story and a couple stories I'd like to tell you guys as well over my next few videos. So if you just bear with me with this, I am born in 1976. I'm 48 years old. I'm probably one of the older, if not one of the oldest, gotcha gamers that are out there. It's the ones that are like Dectone or others like Jello Impact saying, oh, we're 30, we're 35, we're 36 years old. I got a few more years on them. And I have an aspect that most other players don't have, an appreciation for the game that I waited a very long time to go ahead and see. Because what I don't think a lot of newer, younger viewers don't understand is when we were playing the games, I called it just the Nintendo. It wasn't the NES. That didn't catch on until like a year later because there's no such thing as internet, and I lived in a smaller suburb community. And that was one of the first systems I owned. The ones I had in daycare were Ataris. And a lot of you guys probably don't even realize the first Atari only came with a joystick. It didn't even have a button. That was added later on to the models that was needed. And if you got a deluxe edition, they actually had something that looked like a rectangular box with a knob on it. And that's what they used to play their table tennis or Pong. And I actually played with that in some of my daycares. So I come with more of a unique appreciation. So when Genshin came out, it hit all the bells and whistles for me. It gave me a game that we always talked about where you saw the castle in the sky and how great it would be to actually go to that castle in the sky. Genshin Impact allows you to do that. You can go right up that Jade Temple, right in Liyue, and explore inside of the temple with your characters. You can fly through the air. That's amazing. And I think that's really missed among a lot of the younger viewers nowadays of how awesome that really is and how long that someone like myself waited to see something like this. And when Fontaine came out, they did such a beautiful job, at least if you're on a controller, for going through the waters and seas. And people can swim like dolphins or mermaids. The game's amazing. It's got some fixes that I'm going to mention in my next couple of videos I'd like to see done. But honestly, I think it's a very missed appreciation. But on to a little thing more personal about me. When I was 16 years old, a friend of mine bet me a case of beer that I couldn't get across a field that was freshly being plowed to put a new subdivision in. And that subdivision probably would have housed 50 or 60 houses, so it was nothing small. And at the time, I had a 72 Dodge Dart with a 318 engine, a 2-barrel carburetor, rear-wheel drive, of course, AC, horrible green interior from the day, and gold on the outside. But the green was so overpoweringly strong on the inside, everyone thought my car was green. No, it was actually gold, guys. Still got to tell you to this day, it was gold with green interior. But to go on to my story, here we are up in there in northern Idaho and going across this field that he bet me on that we couldn't get across. And we had 3 guys who were still working on a house that was nearby that was still part of the subdivision, but it was one of the old houses still left standing. And I have never seen 3 guys in Western gear, overalls, and a pitchfork with a dumbfounded look as we tore across that field in that car, about 50 miles an hour, plowing through that mud from the snow and rain from the past few days. And as I whipped to the end of that subdivision where we finally got the into the street where we actually got to pavement, I whipped my car in a U-turn and everything else and looked at my friend and said, "You owe me a case of beer." So if you're going to bet somebody, hey, live through your bets. And oh, by the way, it was good beer and stuff. It wasn't no Budweiser. It was Michelob. Made him pay for that ride that I gave him. But a heads up, guys, it doesn't help if your passenger's screaming, slow down, what are you doing, trying to kill us? It's very distracting to the driver. It does not help. Now, if you guys want to hear some other stories like, let's say maybe how my mom says you're not running from the cops if the lights aren't on. Or another story could be 2 teenagers and 2 dozens of eggs and midnight. What could go wrong? Or a third story that I might go ahead and share with you guys, the story of a dentist, and 2 armed guards, and how he got picked up by the throat and guns are being drawn on me. So, if you guys want to maybe hear those stories, well, I got to see some likes and some subscribes, and maybe from the comments down below, out of those 3 stories, I'll release one of those that gets the most votes. But you got to go ahead and make some comments and some likes, folks. And if I get up to 1,000 subscribers, I'll tell you the one time stuff when we all saw the cops and ran in different directions. So, if this seems to excite you and you'd like to go ahead and hear from the perspective of a colorful life from someone who's lived a little bit longer than some others on the planet, come check out my channel and learn a little more about me and the game while you're at it. And so, folks, just because you spend 4,000 or 5,000 hours playing Genshin Impact, it doesn't affect you any negatively. Trust me, it's totally normal. Totally normal. It doesn't make you crazy at all. Oh yeah. So if you don't want to be insane like me and you actually want to go ahead and see what my fruits of my labor have provided for almost 2 years of my count, I am going to provide another video that will be linked to this one once I create it. So if you enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe. Help me to get to at least 1,000, and I'll tell you that superb story where we all took off from the cops in separate directions and what led up that and what happened. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you guys soon.